great deal has changed in the off-road gear industry over the last decade. Some companies have come and gone. Many companies merged with other companies. Most companies went overseas, and many companies fill their boxes with the exact same gears from the exact same factory that most of their competitors use. Running to the internet forums for advice and gears is an exercise in futility, because most of those folks like and hate certain brands without realizing that they're probably the exact same gears. In this video, I attempt to go beyond the bullshit and brand loyalty and take a hard look at gears for your off-road vehicle. First of all, I always try to buy American first and foremost. Even though I'll be paying a premium price to do so, I feel it's right to try to buy American. This was easy back in the day when Richmond Gear, Motive Gear, and Spicer made a lot of gears right here in the USA. But today, other than Spicer making a very limited amount of gears here in the USA, those other companies became global conglomerates, and Reebok's gears made overseas. Richmond used to make the best gears on the planet when they made them in their North Carolina plant. But now when you buy Richmond, you probably get gears made in India. You can't even trust Spicer anymore, as many of the OEM Spicer gears I'm seeing nowadays are made overseas, in India, Mexico, and Brazil. And those cheap Spicer SVL gears made in India, they're still getting mixed reviews. Luckily, US Gear offers fantastic 100% USA made gears cut from good old American steel. Don't confuse US Gear with USA Standard Gear, which is a brand consisting of reboxed blems from Asia. US Gear actually offers these high quality American made gears at competitive prices, often around the same price as Reebok's Chinese gears from Yukon. But there's one more problem. US Gear only makes gears for a limited number of axles, and sometimes in a limited variety of ratios. For instance, I run gears in my Dana 60 from US Gear, but can't run them in my 14-bolt axle because they don't have the 14-bolt gears that I need right now. And even if I wanted to buy 513 gears for my Dana 60 right now, it'd be a long wait because there's none available, because none are in stock. So for me, that's the main reason that a lot of people can't buy American. It's not that they don't want to buy American, it's just that American gears aren't available. And I often find myself in that predicament. And even if I can find a set of USA made Spicer gears, the variety of ratios, especially for off-roaders like me who want low gears, is very limited. So the reality is that although I prefer to buy American made gears, it's not always possible in today's world. In fact, when I really need a set of gears, it's rare that I can get a set of USA made gears in a reasonable time frame. This is why overseas gears are so popular. But let's not panic here. Not all foreign-made gears are bad. In fact, some foreign-made gears are very good in quality. But on the flip side, some foreign-made overseas gears are on the poor side of the quality spectrum. So we need to be mindful of that. The best of the overseas-made gears are Italian-made gears and Korean-made gears. And some of the worst of the overseas gears are made in China and India. Before you start arguing with your friends about which brand is best, be mindful that most of these gears come from the same overseas factories and are placed in a Yukon or G2 or Nitro or Revolution or USA Standard box. So even though, everybody's on the internet espousing these different brands of gears In all likelihood, most of them come from the same damn factory.
99% of foreign-made gears used by the off-road community come from the Asian continent. Chinese gears are widely considered to be the worst quality. India-made gears, particularly those made at the Punjab Bevel Gear Factory, are a step above most Chinese gear quality, but still not great. Korean gears, especially the Circle K gears, are considered the best Asian gears in the 4x4 industry by a long shot. So if you buy foreign-made gears, Korean Circle K gears are a safe bet. Some of the Motiv premium performance gears are still made in Italy, but the vast majority of everything Motiv sells these days are gears made in India. In fact, the same company that owns Motiv also owns Richmond Gear, and all the Richmond boxes I've opened these days say Made in India on them. Some companies are just reboxers. Basically, they buy gears from whatever's cheap or available and throw it in their own box under their own name. The two biggest reboxers are Yukon and G2. Yukon is so bad that people call opening up a box, a Yukon box, the Yukon surprise, because you basically never know what you're going to get. Usually it's Chinese gears these days. Sometimes you score and get Korean gears, and a few very lucky souls might get American-made gears in the box. The real insult, though, is that Yukon loves to print Made in the USA on a box full of Chinese products.
And don't get me wrong, I do trust many Yukon products, like their excellent Grizzly Locker and their awesome hardcore hubs, but I definitely don't trust what may or may not be in one of their boxes of gears.
G2 reboxes gears from everywhere like Yukon does, but you mostly get good Korean-made Circle K gears, but some of their gears are also sourced from China and other places. So G2 can also be a surprise in every box. USA standard gears are the bottom of the barrel. They mix in factory blems with mostly Chinese gears. I'd stay away from them personally. The name USA Standard is a very misleading name. Nitro gears have a good reputation, mostly because they almost exclusively sell Korean-made gears. I've yet to hear anything negative about Nitro. Revolution Gear has a stellar reputation and very competitive prices too. The reason for this is that the guy who made Superior Axle Grate left and started Revolution Gear. Revolution Gear's claim to fame is that they guarantee that every box contains high quality Korean Circle K gears that are QC checked by them.
Honestly, if I can't get a good set of American-made gears in the ratio I want, I currently just buy my gears from Revolution. You know, and the great part about Revolution is I always get those quality Circle K Korean-made gears, and they guarantee it. Much like gears, install kits are often a hodgepodge of different parts from different places thrown in a box, and priced all over the damn place. Luckily, in the last several years, many kits are being sold that guarantee to have all Timken or Koyo bearings in them. Both Timken and Koyo bearings are absolutely fantastic. The only practical difference is that most of the Timken bearings in these kits are American made and most of the Koyo bearings are Japanese made. Like I said, I buy American if I have a choice, so I always opt for the Timken bearings if they're available.
Also, pay attention to what the kit includes. Some kits might disappoint you because they don't include new ring gear bolts, which is something you need. Many other kits don't even come with a new pinion nut, which you also need.
Other kits, like this Revolution kit, come with everything you need for the install. You know, this kit includes all Timken bearings made in the USA and national seals. You know, it's packaged with all top quality components needed for a gear install, you know, and unlike some of the Yukon kits, it actually comes with a pinion nut and all of the ring gear bolts. So this is a pretty complete kit at a competitive price. For most gear installs, the old crush sleeve is a simple and effective way to maintain proper pinion preload, which is why it's included in every master install kit. But for the hardcore rig, basically a trailer queen, a rock buggy, or just a highly abused rig that might break and need to be torn down frequently, a pinion spacer is a much better option in the long run. The downside to pinion spacers is that they're a pain to set up, you know, getting it right with all these shims and everything. You know, you almost never get it right the first time, which requires you to pull the bearing off and start over again, you know, sometimes half a dozen times, but I usually get it in, you know, 2 or 3 times. But just be mindful, it's a pain in the ass to set up versus the crush sleeve, but for a highly abused rig, it's a much better option. But after that initial install is over, the spacer is a much better option because it allows you to maintain your setup without needing to reset preload with a new crush sleeve. You know, this is basically a one-time use thing right here. The spacer also makes doing trail repairs much easier. But most importantly is that the spacer never compresses under hard use like a crush sleeve does. Almost every axle I've seen in a hardcore trail rig with a crush sleeve in it has almost no preload on the pinion bearings after a couple of years of hard abuse. So for a daily driver or moderate off-road rig, this crush sleeve works fine. But for a heavily abused off-road rig, a spacer kit is a much better option. In conclusion, what I believe the off-road community needs to do is knock off all the damn brand loyalty when it comes to gears. The brand name on the box really doesn't matter. It's what's inside the box that matters. And if there's no guarantee of what factory made your gears, how can you be loyal to that brand? You know, I love US gear. Their quality American-made gears are always first on my list of gears to buy. But if they don't have what I need available, I have no problem ordering quality Circle K gears from a place like Revolution Gear. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it somewhat informative. As always, thanks for watching and keep the rubber side down.